Hello, welcome back to another edition of Green Terror Talk, the official podcast of McDaniel College Athletics. I'm your host, Avery Newport, joined here today by three members of the men's basketball team here on the Hill. Chuck Contee, David Kearney, and Jonas Sujeta are my guests here today, guys. Thanks so much for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Finally, we got the women's team on, we got Coach Gowan on, we got Coach Curley, and now we're getting to you guys here. So I figure this is a good time to bring you on right now, of course, because you just came off of a huge win at home against Dickinson this week on Wednesday. First conference win of the season. So real quick, right off the bat, we can just start with that win, 65-58 here at home. How are you guys able to pull it out late? I mean, you scored 40 points in the second half, shot well from the foul line too in the second half. What were the keys to that win over the Red Devils?
I think playing together, having trust in one another. I think that was a big key for us, especially off a rough loss against F&M, kind of coming back, bringing that energy. I think that was a big key for us.
Yeah, I think I like Jonas said, energy, stops on defense, and we got a lot of guys that can make tough shots and go out there and help us every night. So we got going in the second half, and that helped us win.
Yeah, I mean, we just had to think about, at halftime we were down one, just think about, we won 10 games before this for a reason. So just energy, paying attention to detail. We had a good scouting report for them. We knew they were going to be big and physical, so we tried to out-physical them, out-tough them, and I feel we did a good job and came out with the win. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you touched on it there too, Chuck, that you guys won 10 games before that one and got off to the best start in program history this year. 10-1 in 11 games is nothing to scoff at, certainly. So we can touch on that too a little bit too. I mean, how are you guys able to get off to such a good start this year, something that no other McDaniel men's team has ever done in the history of the school? What were the keys to that early season success?
I think personally we just had guys stepping up. I think we all individually got better over the summer, so it was good for coming to the season. We also had a good preseason. I think we were all locked in, lifts, playing pickup with one another, getting to know each other's tendencies. I mean, we all been playing together for 2-3 years, so like I said, it was just.
You've been a little longer here, Chuck.
I have been here. I've been here for a little bit longer than these two guys.
Leader, you know?
But also me just being the voice. I feel like I stepped up as a leader, voice-wise, and just leading by an example. So.
Yeah, I'd go on with that. We have a lot of guys with a lot of experience, so a lot of guys that came back that played last year, did really good things, and then take those good things into this year. And a lot of good guys, good coaching staff, puts us in the position to play, and just going out there and playing for each other, winning.
Yeah, really, I want to touch on that too, Dave, a little bit, because you've really stepped into a bigger role this year as well. You know, last year you got some good minutes. You started for a good chunk of the season. Now you're really stepping in to a role behind Jonas and Chuck, and even sometimes taking that leading scoring role. So what has been the key to your development this year? How have you been able to step your game up? You've been shooting the threes as well. You've been the leading scorer in a number of games this season. So what's been the key to your success specifically this year?
I think just playing hard, obviously working hard over the summer, working on the jump shot, trying to become more of a threat on offense, long range and in the post or driving, but also from the three-point line. And then just playing together, trusting each other, and then some nights it might be my night. Other nights, it's going to be Chuck or Jonas's night.
Yeah.
And just play together as a team, and it'll all work out, and it's been working out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, too, is that any one of you three could have a big night, any given night. And we saw that it was Chuck's night on Wednesday, but Jonas, you've had a couple of major scoring games, major scoring outbursts this year. And Dave, you've had a couple games, too, where you've been the leading scorer. So really, any given night, I think any one of you can have a big game and lead the team, put the team on your back. But as you mentioned, it's not just a one-man show out there. You play with four other guys on the floor at the same time, so everybody can contribute in certain different ways, and maybe somebody scores more points, but it's all the little things sometimes that don't show up on the stat sheet that really get the wins and get the victories. And yeah, I think you all have really touched on it at some points so far today, that defense has been a huge component to your success as well, and that's something that Coach Curley preaches, right? He's a big defensive guy. He wants that defensive energy and intensity. Talk about how the defense has been for you this year. Have you changed anything in terms of your approach? Because the defense has been locked down at certain points this year.
I think it's the energy on the defensive end. I think like kind of we're just trying to like play more together, like in help side, being there, like the most important guy. Like he preaches a lot, which is that's always important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a huge key, no doubt. And you can't play defense as, just one guy, right? You got to play as a unit, as a team. And I think just from being at your games and seeing what Coach Curley preaches, you've really taken that to heart. It's a whole team effort for all 5 of the guys out there on the floor, not just one guy, picking up his man or anything like that. You've all got to be, as a unit, cohesive together. You've also had a lot of really strong performances from the bench guys, from the whole team. You got a big team this year. Like at one point, you had 25, 26 guys on the team, and you guys are going to have a JV team this year too. You're getting a lot of players to buy into your system and be a part of the program for the long term. That's got to be a real positive thing about this program, right? Is that you have so much depth and so many other players that you can rely on. Like Russ Dandridge had a great game on Wednesday too. Came off the bench, provided some energy, provided some scoring and rebounding. You've seen a lot of those production, a lot of those kinds of guys coming up and stepping up in those big moments. Talk about how the team is gelled as a whole this year, getting some of those strong performances from guys on the bench.
Yeah, I think everybody's just ready to go, waiting for their opportunity at practice. Even the guys that really haven't played this season, they're always locked in at practice, making the people that actually play better. So like they always provide a good scout for us, and like guys like Russ and Kevin Conley, and even like Ash. I know I missed one game; he stepped up. So just having more depth, offensively and defensively, just makes us harder to guard and makes us a better basketball team overall. So.
Yeah, we got I think we got a lot of guys that can play this year, and guys coming off the bench, it could be their night at night too. So I think if we just keep playing hard, which everyone's doing, we'll figure it all out and we'll come away with wins. So
they basically said everything.
That's true. You're a true man of the people, Jonas. You're letting hey, I respect it, but. Yeah, big win against Dickinson on Wednesday, too. And you saw a lot of those bench performers really coming through and shining in a big moment, too, against a good Dickinson team, a conference team at home. I want to touch, too, on your success in the Gill Center. It's been over a year since you guys have lost a home game. That's incredible.
It's knock on wood a little bit.
Hey, well, no jinxing, okay? We don't jinx on this podcast. But really impressive home winning streak that you've got this year. You're undefeated at home this season. It's been over a year since you've lost in the Gill Center. How has that home court advantage been valuable to you guys as a team this year? And even dating back to last season, what's been the key to your success at home?
I think we like shooting at home. Yeah. We like playing at home. We like the rims at home. So everything about it. Like the fans. We get good fans show up at a lot of our games when the students are here. So all that momentum just helps us, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just feeling comfortable. Like, I've been playing here for 5 years, shooting in the same gym. So, like, when we have a home game, I'm happy, I'm excited. So, I don't know if you have it, but, like, if you check my shooting splits home and away, it's crazy. At home, I look like Steph Curry. Away games, sometimes I look like, I don't know, Shaq. So, but,
Wow.
I don't know. I just love being at home. You don't got to travel on a bus. You can sleep in your own bed, eat your own food, and just get your, like, mind mentally prepared for the game a little bit better. So.
Like Chuck said, being mentally prepared, I think, is a big key. Like the long bus drives, it's a hassle and it's just tiring. Like getting off that bus, not a fan at all. And just being at home, it's always good.
Yeah. No, you guys all touched on it too. Just having the home fans there and a lot of the mental parts of the game that you don't really think about that don't show up on the stat sheet, right? Like not having to travel a couple hours to go play a game in Pennsylvania or something. Like being able to stay at home, practice in your own gym, like. The practice element too, like you're used to shooting on those rims and playing in that gym, and then that translates over to a real game, to a real environment like that. So, yeah, I totally agree. I think that makes all the difference in the world. You don't have to get on the bus, and you don't have to arrange all your travel, situations, anything like that. It's much easier just to play in front of your home gym, and even during Jan term when there aren't that many students on campus. Gym was packed on Wednesday. For a Wednesday game at night at 8 o'clock, late tip-off time, you still saw a ton of people packing the seats in the Gill Center. So really cool to see that even during kind of a quiet time on campus and not when everybody's back on campus, you're still getting that level of support is really impressive, and I think it speaks to the work that you guys have been putting in this year. I mean, people want to see a good team play, and this is what we're getting right now. This is the experience that we're having. So very cool to be a part of that and to see all that go down for you guys. But Chuck, I gotta focus here on you here for a bit, because we've touched on it, we've joked about it a little bit. You have played here for 5 years now. You are a grad student, but that means you're coming this close to reaching 1,000 points for your career in green and gold. You've got 947 right now, and if you do join that 1K club, you'd be the 19th player in team history to do it. So just talk to me about how you're feeling approaching such a milestone like this, and how cool it would be for you in your career to reach 1,000 points.
Yeah, I mean, it is my 5th year. I'm a grad student, but I had COVID.
You have that little advantage.
Yeah, I had COVID, so I didn't play freshman year, so technically it's my 4th season, but I've been thinking about it every single day. At practice, warming up, stretching, I look at the banner and just imagine my name underneath, I think it's Tim Stewart. Mm-hmm. So I know he was a great player here. And hopefully I reach it soon. It will be nice to reach it next Saturday for Alumni Day. I know Tim Stewart, I see him every time when he comes back, so it'd be nice to acknowledge him. And all my boys will be back too, that graduated and played in the program too, so it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think just all the hard work I put in, all the people that came before me, just lead me in the right direction when I was a freshman, sophomore. I couldn't envision myself ever doing this at the college level. I know I barely played first coming into my sophomore year, and now being a starter all conference, it's just a blessing, to be honest. I got players, or they have faith in me, taking game-winning shots, taking shots when I'm open, even when I'm not open. So big thanks to them and the coaching staff. So I don't know if I'm gonna be emotional that day. I'll be thinking about it, when I hit it, am I gonna cry a little bit? But more importantly, hopefully we win the game, so it makes the day a little bit better. But I'm just thankful for the opportunity. So
of course, well, when you get 1,000 points, we're gonna get you a commemorative basketball. We're gonna put the little label on it that says Chuck Contee 1,000 points. I don't know specifically what it'll say, but it'll be something like that. We'll hook you up, man. We'll get it all squared away.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, very cool milestone, of course, to have that in such a successful season for the team as a whole.
Yeah.
To have such a significant individual record too would be a really cool way to wrap up the season here for the last couple of weeks. But I want to talk about that too a little bit. As the season kind of progresses, we're well into conference play at this point. You guys already have a conference win at home, but going on the road this Saturday against Swarthmore, this is a really tough team that's been among the best in the Centennial for the last few years. So going into the rest of the conference schedule too, you've got a couple games against Hopkins on the schedule, Gettysburg as well. What is the rest of the conference schedule looking like for you guys, and how confident are you now that you have a conference win facing off against some of the best teams in the conference the rest of the way?
I mean, we feel like we can go out there any given night and play our brand of basketball and play well and possibly come out with a win. So we're confident going into the games, ready to go. We feel like we prepare really well for our games, whether that's scouting or mentally or physically preparing in the weight room or whatever. So we're going to go out there and we're going to play hard and see what happens. So.
Like Dave said, I think we're really confident. If we stick with our fundamentals on defense and on offense, I think we'll be good playing together, like I mentioned already. That's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, this conference is a battle. It's been like that the past 3 years I've been here. So, got a tough one Saturday at SWAT. Personally, I've never beat them, so it'd be nice. But yeah, there's a bunch of other good teams in the conference. Either the teams that are bottom of the conference, typically, they're always a battle every time we play them. So, like Coach mentions, anybody can win or lose any given night in college basketball. So we just got to come mentally and physically prepared, and I think we'll be all right for the rest of conference play.
Yeah, and I think also it's really important to note too that you've got a conference win already, especially at home. Getting one at home. But when you get that first conference win, it does kind of give you a little more confidence, right? Going into the rest of the schedule. Now you can compete with these teams. You can beat the best of the best. And Dickinson, they're a game under 500 at this point, but they're still a conference team. You beat them at home. That's a confidence booster for anybody that you play. It doesn't matter whether it's home or away, whether they've got a plus 500 record or not. beating any conference team. Chuck, as you mentioned, this is such a great league, so many competitive teams from top to bottom. Beating anybody is a confidence booster, and I think especially now that you've got that win out of the way, you can take that confidence into a game against Swarthmore on the road, a really good team, a team that's been in the conference championship for the last couple of years now, and play your best. And I think you're really going to give them a tough one on the road this week. But, yeah, as you mentioned, that first conference win, hugely important. And when you play your style of basketball, you play team defense, you're getting good scoring performances from the three of you guys, you can compete with anybody on any given night. And it could be, who knows, maybe they have a cold shooting night and you can take advantage. Maybe somebody gets in foul trouble right away and you can kind of, good teams are able to do those things, and you've been able to do those things so far this year. So to me, I think you certainly have a chance this weekend, and against the best teams in the conference too. You see, once you get that first conference win, it proves that you can compete and play at this level, and the sky's the limit for the rest of the season. So very excited to see how you guys continue to grow and develop for the rest of the conference schedule here. But I also want to touch on one more thing before we get to the general questions here towards the end. I wanted to touch on Coach Curley. We had him on the show a few weeks ago to kind of preview the season going forward. That was earlier on in the season. But he's already the winningest coach in program history. He won his 186th game in the season opener against Penn State Scranton. He's got 195 now. He's 5 away from 200 wins as McDaniel coach for his career. How cool is it to be a part of that milestone, maybe be a part of another coaching milestone for him? What is it like to play under him, especially this season when you've had so much success under him this year?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool to get him his 200th win. Hopefully we can do that this season. But yeah, I mean, obviously you can see on the sidelines, he's an intense coach. Basically, wants the best for all of us. Try to put us in the best position to win games. Very intense defensively. I feel like that's his success. He harps on it every day. We do defensive drills every day. So yeah, hopefully we get him his 200th one. That'd be pretty cool. And to say we were here to do it for him would be a pretty cool thing to say in the future. So
yeah, I mean, I think Coach loves winning, and he's an intense guy, and we practice hard. I know he works hard to put us in the right positions and scouting or whatever it is. So it would be nice to do that for him, just knowing that it's a big 200 wins, a big milestone in college basketball. So just keep playing hard like he would want us to, and hopefully we can do that for him.
Like they said, he's a big milestone. We'll probably all be very thankful for to be a part of it and to help him achieve that big goal. And
yeah, it would be very cool again because you got the first one out of the way, right? He's already the winningest coach in program history. Now you're just a few games away from 200, and it's not going to be easy. Certainly won't, because now this is the thick of the conference schedule, and you're playing really good teams every day. But again, once you get that first conference win, the confidence builds, and especially here at home. I mean, it's really hard to beat you guys when you're playing in the Gill Center. So whoever comes here, whether it's Hopkins or SWAT or Gettysburg, anybody, they're going to have to play their best to beat you at home and keep you from getting those 200 wins for Coach. So I'm really excited to see if he can reach that milestone this year. I think he's got a great chance to do it, if you ask me. I'm not biased or anything. So, but really cool to see that another milestone could potentially be on the way for Coach Curley this year. But all right, those are the specific questions. Gotten those out of the way. Now for the fun stuff. Got a little preview of it before we went on the air, but I got a couple debate questions for us as we kind of move into the last part of the show here. So we got to make the podcast interesting. Everybody can talk about the day-to-day sort of stuff, but this is the stuff that the people really want to hear. Okay, we want to learn about your personalities and different things about you off the floor. So this is the best way to do it, I think. So we're going to start with a couple of debate questions here. We got a good group of 4 up here, so I feel like we can have some good spirited discussion up here. You know what I mean? So first things first, I asked this to the women's team when we had them on the show a few weeks ago. I'm going to ask the 3 of you, especially now since, Dave, you're shooting more threes this year as well. You've gotten your three-point numbers up. Out of the 3 of you, who would win in a three-point contest?
I'm betting on myself. I mean,
I think, I don't know.
I always joke around.
Hard to argue.
I joke around with Giannis. I know last year I finished with a better 3-point percentage than him, but this year he's crushing me. So I don't know. It'll be tough.
I would like to say myself, but I mean, like, I see him in the gym sometimes, and
That's very true.
It'd have to be a rough day for Giannis for me to win. I'd say that.
I don't know. I'm humble, so it don't really matter to me.
I mean, he'll make it close for sure, but
Yeah.
I'm going me. So
I'm
going me.
See, that's I think you guys have approached it the way I thought you would, right? Because the women are all like, oh, well, Taya would win it or Lil would win it or whatever. And I'm like, none of them said themselves. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
have the confidence. Like, when you're taking the threes, you got to have the confidence, don't you?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, you also want to be a good teammate and shout out your teammates. So I respect both sides of the coin here. But I got to say, man, when you take the threes, you got to have confidence that you're going to make it, right? So you might as well say yourself. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
But all right, okay, good start. Good start to the debate here. Now we're gonna get in some big picture questions here, okay? And I'm just gonna give you 3 words here, and you take it, go however you want. LeBron or Jordan?
Chuck, you already know your answer.
If we're talking basketball, it's not close.
Oh
It's,
my-
it's LeBron. I mean,
No, it's not.
6'9",
okay.
No, it's not. We have our
first
real it's-
debate here, folks.
6'9", from Akron, Ohio, 40 years old, doing GOAT things.
still doing it.
He's still doing it. Jordan at 40 was washed with the Wizards. So I mean,
How many rings?
yeah, we can count the rings, but like, who's been there more?
Okay, who changed the game?
Steph Curry.
Oh my! No, oh, that's a good one. That's
So,
okay.
I mean-
Steph Curry into the GOAT ring?
Nah, he's not. He changed the game, but honestly, I do
shooter.
think LeBron's the better player overall. Jordan just can score better, but then LeBron breaks Kareem all-time scoring record. So,
Fair.
I mean,
Fair.
better rebounder, better passer.
But Giannis here thinks that Jordan's got the edge. Let's hear your argument.
All right, there was a more physical game in the past, right? There's no tic-tac fouls, and like LeBron, he goes up strong. Okay, I get you. That makes sense. But I don't know, Jordan.
Yeah. The winning part, that's
That's what gets me. That's
That
what's the
is-
goal of the NBA? To win a
win.
championship. And I just see Michael Jordan did that more than LeBron.
I mean, I think there's more to a championship than a player, though. I mean, you got to have a good team around you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, MJ had Phil Jackson as a head coach. LeBron's been through like 5-6 head coaches. He had David Blatt as a head coach. Where's that dude even at right now? So, I mean, you give
pull.
you give LeBron Greg Popovich in like the Spurs like system, I'm pretty sure he'll have like 8 championships right now. So, shout out Bron, man. Lego. Shout out Bron.
Pookie Bear, LeBron James. Okay, all right. You know what? I see some fair points presented on both sides. Dave, you've been quiet in this debate.
Yeah.
Who's your GOAT pick?
I'm
man?
more of like a GOAT per era. I think it's like a little bit different eras, but I'd probably say Jordan just because he won more championships. But it is amazing to see what LeBron has, how long he's been doing it, the longevity for LeBron. I mean, at some point that has to be taken into account. Like,
Sure, yeah. I mean, he's 40 for
doing amazing.
goodness sakes,
Yeah,
man. He's
it's-
still doing it.
It's crazy.
They each have compelling arguments, obviously. This is the age-old question in basketball. So I think I kind of take your stance too, Dave, that it's an era-specific thing. Like Jordan was the best in his era. LeBron's the best in his era. But the game is different, like Giannis said. Like, the game was more physical in the 90s. There were more fouls. I mean, the Jordan rules were a thing. Like, you could tackle a guy in the lane, basically, and,
Regularly,
So I think the eras are a little different. I'm not sure you can quite compare them. But, again, like, you can make an argument for Kareem being the GOAT, for Wilt Chamberlain being the GOAT. Like, he was beaten up on, like, janitors in the 60s, man, playing in, like, high school gyms. So, but he was putting up, like, 50 and 20 every single night. So
That's true.
I think everybody's got a bit of an argument here, which is why I want to transition into a bigger question here. If you had to pick a Mount Rushmore for basketball, so you had to pick 4 of the greatest players ever to be on your Mount Rushmore, who would you pick? And I want to go through all 3 of you here. So we'll start with you, Chuck.
Okay.
Who's on your basketball Mount
Obviously LeBron. Guess we got to throw Jordan in there. Guess we got to throw Jordan in there.
You guess you have to throw Jordan in there?
I guess.
Jason Eichelberger, our SID, is not going to be happy to hear this.
I mean,
he's a big Jordan guy, so this is...
Yeah, like, even though I'm old, I still haven't seen Jordan play, so. But we'll
Fair
throw him
point,
in there.
fair point.
I'm going to throw Shaq in there because he was so dominant.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw in the best scorer of all time, Kevin Durant.
Wow, okay.
I'm throwing Kevin
All
Durant.
right,
No.
I respect it. All right, Dave, who you got?
Yeah, I would go Jordan, LeBron. I'll throw Kobe in there. I need one more.
One more. You got 4.
This is where it gets tough. You could go. Shaq is the most dominant, like Chuck said. But you got, I think, guys like Tim Duncan also up there.
Thank you.
The greatest
Thank
power
you.
forward.
Finally.
The greatest power
the
forward.
Big fundamental. Thank you.
The greatest power forward of all time.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. Karl Malone, who? You know.
And then I'll go Tim Duncan. Then we'll throw Tim Duncan on.
Love
there.
it.
MJ obviously for number 1. Then I think got to be LeBron. Like Dave said, Kobe and Shaq. I think that's like that duo was just unstoppable.
Yeah.
True. All right. Hey, look, very, very good points here. Everybody, you had to get LeBron and Jordan in there at some point. And then
sure.
I love the Tim Duncan. Okay, 5 rings, the best power forward of all time, was the leader of the best dynasty of the 2000s. It's got to be Timmy, man. Got to be Timmy. Also, shout out David Robinson, my favorite NBA player of all time. Okay, maybe not Mount Rushmore, but maybe my personal Mount Rushmore. I'd put Timmy and David Robinson up there. Okay, good list. Good list. Now, staying with the NBA here for our next debate question. There's been a lot of talk this year, and really in the last couple years, but mostly centered on this season, how teams are just shooting a ton of threes this year, right? That's how the game's been moving ever since Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the Warriors started their dynasty. Every team loves to shoot threes, and you got some teams that have 5 guys on the floor who can all shoot. So I wanted to ask the 3 of you, and of course this is relevant to you all too, because all 3 of you are 3-point shooters and can shoot on any given night. So do you guys think, we'll chime into the broader debate here, do you think that NBA teams are just shooting too many threes nowadays, or do you think that's just how the game of basketball is moving now and that's how teams should be playing, or what? I just want to hear your thoughts on how teams are. You think they're shooting too much, they're shooting just as many as they should, that's how the game has progressed to this point. What are your thoughts about the NBA 3-point shooting debate?
I mean, it's fun watching, obviously. A lot of teams shoot threes, but I do think it's getting a little bit out of hand because we're seeing guys that can't shoot threes. Right. Now, it's cool watching Steph Curry shoot like 12 threes a game, which is, it's Steph Curry, but even like LeBron's my go. When I see him take 10 threes, I'm like, bro, like, just go to the paint. Like, you're bigger than everybody else.
Yeah.
But
His drive, yeah.
So maybe that's why the ratings are down. I don't know for the NBA so far, but yeah, I think they're shooting a little bit too many threes. And it dates back to like even high school kids now. Like, I went to my high school game and everybody's shooting threes, even the centers. And I don't think they hit one all season, but their coach allows it. So, but threes are fun to watch, but I think it's getting out of hand a little bit. So.
Yeah, I'd somewhat agree that it is getting a little out of hand, but I mean, I think that's how the game's just progressing, and I think analytically it probably makes sense to shoot more threes, and that's probably why they're doing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like seeing other aspects of the game too,
Sure.
mid post, high post, different types of shots other than just threes. So.
I agree with them, how like the game is changing a lot. I think it's also to do with celebrations. There's a lot of 3-point like celebrations. I think like that's the reason why a lot of high schoolers and middle schoolers are trying to like shoot the threes so then they can celebrate. Because if you like score a layup, nobody's gonna celebrate.
It looks cooler.
And it does look cooler.
Yeah, but why, like, what happened to dunking, though, man? Like, you can celebrate after you dunk, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
I guess at the high school level, it doesn't happen that much, But, I mean, you can celebrate just the same for a good dunk. You do a little windmill, a little behind the back, something like it. That gets the crowd on their feet. That gets the bench going, right? Just as much as a 3 would,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just, this is the big question in the NBA right now, and it's affecting the whole sport. I mean, everybody's shooting more threes at every level, not just the NBA, but in college and high school, you guys mentioned. So that's the big topic of discussion right now is, our team's shooting too many threes. And Chuck, you mentioned the NBA's ratings are down a little bit. Maybe people are just getting bored of all the threes. You know, that was the revolutionary thing in basketball 10 years ago, but now everybody's doing it. And everybody, some people who can't even shoot are shooting 10 threes a game. So it's got to be, it's a question worth asking, I think. But we'll see how it continues to progress if the NBA makes changes. I know they already changed up the All-Star game format this year, and they're starting to make some changes to those sorts of things. So maybe they had a 4-point line or something, or they pull the arc back. Who knows? Maybe somebody makes a change in the future somewhere. But my last important discussion question for you, and we mentioned it a little bit off the air too. We got some Maryland representation, we got some DMV representation on the show right now, but we got some Pennsylvania as well. Dave, you're from PA, so this is a very important question to folks around this area, and I had to ask the three of you here on the show today. And I'm just going to list out these three options. Say your argument, say your reasoning. Royal Farms, Sheetz, or Wawa. The floor is yours.
I'll go first because this actually, it's Wawa. It's not even really close, but it's Wawa. You look at the food, you look at just going inside the sandwiches, the food, it's Wawa's way better. And I'm actually from my county, Delco, is where the first Wawa was. So, I mean, I can't be biased, but there's a ton of Wawas around me. There's a couple in my town, like right by my house. So, it's got to be Wawa. You can't argue the food's better anywhere else. So.
All right. I'm excited to hear the rest of this debate here. Let's go.
I mean, when we come back from games, we usually do go to Wawa or Sheetz. Sheetz is cool. They got some good mozzarella sticks, chicken sandwiches. But yeah, I gotta agree with Dave. Wawa's just superior.
Really?
But Royal Farms is good too. Late night chicken, chicken be good at Royal Farms. So it's slept on. But yeah, Wawa by far, in my opinion too. So.
Wow, shocking. Okay.
See, for me, it don't really matter. Like I just eat. I just eat anything. Well, if it's just food, it don't matter to me. So.
Fair.
But yeah, like Chuck said, we always go to Wawa. So.
And it hits every time.
It does.
It hits every time.
It does.
So.
Man. Okay, we got a little Royal Farms love in there, man. But a sweep for Wawa up here. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. I was expecting Dave to be a fervent Wawa supporter, okay? Because it's a PA thing. People from PA, but there are Sheetz in PA. I went to college in West Virginia, so Sheetz was everywhere where I was from, and I went to Sheetz all the time.
I had never been to a Sheetz before I got down here.
Really? No kidding.
It's just Wawa.
Okay, all right. Wawa it is, man. I'm disappointed. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a debate up here, but it was a clean sweep for Wawa. All right. Their hoagies are quite good. I have to admit, I'm a big hoagie guy, so I got to shout out Wawa for that. But the fried stuff at Sheetz, the little snack wraps, the little the cheese popper things, whatever those called.
The mac and cheese
quality
bites.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly. Quality stuff. Quality. Well, those are my debate questions. That was it's a good debate. All right, we got some good differing opinions here. Okay, we got some agreement. I think we got some good entertaining sound bites too that I can clip out and post about. So I think we're set, man, on the debate questions. But guys, this is great. Thanks so much for coming on the show today and talking about the team, your success so far this year. It's been really fun to watch you guys gel together as a group. This is the most successful men's basketball team in terms of just a start to a season that this school has ever had. So you guys should really be proud of that accomplishment. And, of course, it's just the start to a season. You still have the rest of your conference schedule to go. But that start really should be the catalyst for you guys to finish out the season strong and hopefully make the playoffs, make the conference tournament, move forward in the postseason. I see a lot of those things happening in your future as a program. And it's got to start somewhere, right? And starting with such a great start this season is a great place to move forward and advance from. So really happy that you guys are having this level of success and to see all of you guys. I mean, I think if I had to say, and I do, all three of you guys would be on my All-Centennial team at this point in the season. I mean, each of you guys have played such an enormous part to this team's success this year. Chuck, you've already been on the All-Centennial team before. Jonas, you're going to be there this year. Dave, you got a shot as well. Everybody, I think, is in agreement that the three of you guys will certainly be will certainly be in consideration for those lists. And again, as we've talked about, as a team this year, playoffs are a real possibility at this point. Again, you've gotten that first conference win. The rest of the conference slate is ahead, but you guys are unstoppable at home. It's really hard to beat you guys here on the Hill. So really excited to see how the rest of the season finishes out for you guys, and I'm hoping that you continue to keep up this momentum. Again, a 10-1 start this year. You've beaten a good Dickinson team at home. A lot of positive things to look forward to as the season progresses. And I want to thank you guys for coming on today and for giving your opinions, for talking about the season, and got to wish you best of luck moving forward rest of the year.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Winning is fun, so.
Absolutely. Winning is fun, and it will continue. You got to speak it into existence.
Yep.
It's going to happen. Well, this has been great. Chuck Contee, David Kearney, Jonas Sujeta, my guests here today on Green Terror Talk, the official podcast of McDaniel College Athletics. Thanks so much for watching and tuning in to this episode. We'll see you again next time. Take care. We'll see you later.